feel free.
Okay. So today I wanted to remind us during our practice that mantra with the meaning of mind tool is used for focusing your mind to sustain attention on one thing over time. I'm gonna pause my music for a moment. A mantra can be spiritual, like a prayer, or it can be simple. Um, for example, the chorus of a song that repeats in your mind. It can also be a cue, like in yoga, when you are breathing and you tell yourself in, out. A mantra can be thought of as a seed for energizing an intention. So much in the same way you would plant a flower seed, you plant mantras in the soil of your practice. And you nurture them over time, they bear the fruit of your intentions. So this focusing tool can help you on and off the mat. And so I want us to spend time thinking about that as we practice today. I want you to think of your mantra for this class, and I'm going to give you about a minute to solidify what that is. You can start with a word that feels important today and add a few words or the opposite word to it. For example, you can say, I am, and add something to that. So, like, I am love, or I am peace. Or you could explore adding opposite words like, I, for example, inhale love, inhale peace, exhale anger, exhale struggle. And you can begin to create your own mantra right now. I'm going to give you about a minute. All right, so as we get started with our physical exercise today, I'd like to remind you how much you are capable of, how much you have survived to be sitting here today. You are incredible. We are incredible. Hold self-love and acceptance in your body and move your body and your flesh along with your poses. Honor any limitations as places for growth, and also take the challenges offered to you as places for learning. We're going to begin paying attention to our breath, our Ujjayi victorious breath. The sound this breath provides helps us synchronize our movement and makes it more organically rhythmic. So we're going to add some rhythm into our practice. Begin breathing in and out through your nose. Breathing in, breathing out with intention. In through the nose, feeling our entire mid area, lengthening your spine. Imagining that breath going straight to your belly, holding the deep breath deep inside and releasing with intention, still moving the breath through your nose. Keep breathing in and out and begin moving your body, coming onto all fours, placing weight evenly on all fours. And we're going to practice breathing here for just a moment. Remember to seal your lips and continue to breathe in and out. And while you're on all fours, I want you to lean your hips towards the right. Lean one leg and hips towards the right, stretching out the hips before we begin our practice. And as you do this slow movement of sort of creating an O with your booty, your pelvic area, keep breathing and finding the rhythm of your breath and the rhythm that your body feels today. Keep that rhythm as we warm up our body a bit, allowing your tailbone to lead. Come back into a flat back on all fours. And we're going to begin with cat-cow, rolling your shoulders back, dropping your belly towards the ground, raising your gaze towards the sky. Remembering your tailbone is reading the way, pressing into your hands and rounding your upper back while dropping your tailbone. Allow your head to follow the movement. So we're going to move through this, raising and lowering our belly, following our tailbone. Remember to keep breathing. This flow of poses helps us warm up our spine, and it also energizes us as we prepare to practice. Let's breathe through this, inhaling when our back is rounded, exhaling when our belly drops towards the ground. As you begin to feel balance in this pose, allow your body to be filled with your mantra. Let your focus on this mantra create more focus for your practice. Take one more cat-cow, and then we'll meet back on the mat in child's pose. Lowering our hips back, extending arms over our head onto the mat, making sure that our knees are wide. Reach your big toes towards each other. They may or may not touch. And as you sit here, this pose can be used to also balance and think about our third eye, which promotes intuition, imagination, and wisdom. We will come back into child's pose a few times. Each time we are in child's pose, remember that mantra and repeat it with intention, either in your mind or out loud. Remember to inhale and exhale, keeping that rhythm. Tucking toes, lifting your hips into downward facing dog. Pedaling your heels, keeping the knees soft or even slightly bent if needed. From down dog, we'll slowly walk our feet into a forward fold, keeping knees soft and or slightly bent to protect your lower back. Exhaling into ragdoll or remaining. You can exhale into ragdoll or remain here, just hanging.
Oh.
And take a deep breath in, then placing your hands on shins, raising halfway into a flat back, half lift. Remember to hinge from the hips. Inhale, and then lift and lengthen through the crown of your head into extended mountain pose. Taking a deep breath here, and then exhaling into forward fold, remembering to allow your hips to hold your weight. And we're gonna move through this flow about 4 times. Take your time, use what you need, and remember that you go from forward fold, hang down into ragdoll, come back up into half lift, raise up into mountain, extended mountain. Take a deep breath, drop back into forward fold, hang if it's in your practice, come up into a half lift, raise up into your mountain pose with extended arms. And I'll let you flow through this using your own rhythm. Remembering to end up in extended mountain pose. And one more time. And from that last mountain pose, pressing through the soles of the feet, bending knees deeply, inhale, and exhale into chair pose with your feet hip width apart, bend your knees and let your hips drop as if you're sitting in a chair with the weight coming into your heels. Draw your ribs into the midline of your body and sweep your arms up. Shoulder width apart. Keep shifting your lower legs back so you can still see your toes, but keep your shoulders relaxed and gaze skyward. Feeling a line of energy shooting straight up in front of you. Coming back up into extended mountain pose. Release that contraction you just did. And we're gonna flow through chair pose several times. I'll remind you to practice your breath. We're gonna do it 4 times, up and down. So drop into chair, arms straight up in front of you. We'll hold it here for a moment. You can bounce along with the rhythm of the song to give you a little extra effort. Coming back into mountain pose, dropping back into chair. Remember to breathe in and out through your nose, helping us retain the heat for our practice. Let's rise into mountain pose, arms at our sides. And just take a few breaths here. You should feel warmth in your body.
Yep.
From our practice today, just wiggle everything out. Feel your heart rate calm. Repeating your mantra for the day. We're gonna enter into sun salutations. So try to enter this movement peacefully, allowing your body to flow through it. Allow your mantra to help you create focus and balance. Perfect. So inhale, reaching arms overhead, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. From the hips, making sure not to lock your knees, keeping a slight bend in the knees. Exhale, half lift. Inhale into down dog. Lower into plank pose. Chaturanga. Exhale into cobra or up dog. Exhale, walking into your downward facing dog. And we'll float through this 2 more times. Let's meet back in mountain pose. Shake out that movement and let's prepare for the next. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, keeping that bend in the knees. Exhale, half lift. Inhale, down dog. Plank pose, knees or toes. Exhale, lowering into the ground. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale into down dog. Let's take 4 deep breaths here. And one more time, meeting in our mountain pose. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping the bend in the knees. Inhale, hinging at the hips to half lift. Exhale into down dog. Exhale, plank pose, chaturanga. Inhale into cobra. And this time, let's exhale into a child's pose. Taking 4 breaths here. Thanking your body for moving you through that flow. Remembering that mantra. When you're at rest, how does the message of your mantra shift? Do you hear it more clearly here or in movement? Is it more powerful or important to you here or when you're in a space of challenge? Feel your heart rate calm. Let your breath slow.
I'll be back to grab
And we'll meet back in mountain pose. Moving through sun B. Remembering to do so peacefully.
Okay.
Mountain pose. Extended mountain pose with an upward salute. And here we'll lower our hips into chair pose. Coming into a forward fold. Hands on shins for a half fold. Walking our hands into a high plank. Staff pose, so chaturanga, raising up into cobra. Let's stay here for just a moment and breathe. We're gonna lift up into our down dog. And from down dog, we're gonna bring one of our legs forward to move us into a warrior one. Step your leg forward and toes facing forward. Your back leg opens to the side, arms up by our ears, creating that line of energy that shoots up. Remaining here and taking some breaths, remembering your mantra, or here you can also move through a vinyasa, lowering down to the ground. Breathe. And from here, let's come back to our mountain pose in an upward salute, holding heat in our arms.
Ooh.
My arms are heating up.
Yep, I feel it.
Okay, wiggle it out if you need to. You shouldn't be burning. Let's take a few breaths here. And from here, we're gonna lower our hips into chair pose. You can leave your arms at your side, or you can bring them up
Okay.
for balance. We'll move into our forward fold, and then a half fold. Walking our hands into a high plank, lowering into the ground, and then raising to cobra. Coming onto our downward facing dog, lifting our hips, and then bringing our other leg forward between our hands to move us into and lift our body through a warrior one. Front toes pointing forward, back toes pointing to the side, arms above our head, close to our ears. Remaining here for a few breaths, or moving through a vinyasa, lowering to the ground. We will meet back in mountain pose.
Ooh, that feels nice.
We're gonna pause here. We're gonna pause here and let our breath slow. Right now, you're at the peak of the practice. So your body just moved you through the hardest part.
Yep.
And you should feel very warm, maybe even sweaty,
I do.
and also more flexible.
That is true. It's actually fun because this will actually, because when you start, it's like it's been a long day. I'm tired, I want to sleep. And then when you get into the practice, it's like, okay, what's happening now?
Yeah, like more energy.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to try to add our moon series today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do that next, just so
Okay.
you know. Just so you know, I'm not. It's my first time doing it, so I'm gonna try my best.
It's actually funny too. I do it every day. I just haven't cued it.
Really?
Yeah, I do it
So
every single day. Every single day.
that's cool.
Yep.
When we did it in class, I loved it, and I was like, okay, I'm adding this for Tuesday.
You're gonna love it.
All right, so let's rise to an extended mountain pose. From here, inhale into 5 pointed star, reaching arms out and legs open, hips wide. Exhale into goddess pose, lowering hips down into a wide squat and bringing shoulders together with arms at a V on both sides. Inhale, warrior two on the right side, placing one foot forward into a lunge, heel of your back foot down, and both pointing forward. Making sure your heels are aligned. Okay, here's the hard part. Exhale into side angle. Resting arm above the knee. And then exhale into half moon. Bringing arm to ground and leg up to create a line of energy that shoots from the toes all the way to the crown of your head. Balance here for a moment and then exhale into a prayer squat. Catching our breath. Whew. We're going to repeat on the other side.
Okay.
Whew. All right, so inhale, 5-pointed star, reaching arms out and legs open, hips wide. Exhale into goddess pose, lowering hips down into a wide squat, bringing shoulders together. Inhale, warrior two on the left side. Exhaling into the side angle. And then resting arm above the knee, inhaling into half moon. Bringing the arm to ground and leg up to create a line of energy that shoots from the toes all the way to the crown of the head. And then exhaling into a prayer squat. Ugh. And let's catch our breath here. Whew. Okay, so usually here I do a few more poses, but I think we're gonna move into our supine
Okay.
and floor poses. So let's shift into from mountain pose. Relax your feet down into the ground. Remembering our mantra. All right, let's lower onto the ground into a child's pose. Continuing to breathe in and out. Lowering our belly to the ground. Here I'm going to give you some different options to contract your back just a little bit. So here you can go into locust pose, remain on your belly with your arms at your side, bringing your head up towards the sky, and then lifting up your feet as well, creating a curve on your back. And breathe, taking 1 or 2 breaths, and then coming back down into the ground. When you're raising your feet and your shoulders up, remember to hold that also from your root chakra area. So that means using your core. You just take 1 breath and then release it. 1 breath and release it. You can choose to grab your ankles and go into a bow pose here, or you can just remain in the locust pose, or you could even just remain on the ground. Remembering to hold that contraction for about 1 or 2 breaths and then releasing it and lowering your cheek to the mat for rest. If it's in your practice, you can hold that a little bit longer. I'm doing the ultra modified of just laying on the mat.
I love it. Hmm.
So from here, we're actually just gonna turn our body around and get on our back. And we're gonna melt into the ground because I know that we're warm.
Yeah.
And here, I'd like you to just take one short moment to remember your mantra, catch your breath, and say thank you to your body for allowing you all that heat today. And I'd like you to draw your knees to your chest in a gesture of self-love and kindness to your body. Rolling back and forth if it's in your practice. Massaging that lower back. And you can choose to lower your hips to the floor. Stretching all the way back out. Moving into happy baby, either holding the back of your feet, pull down as you lengthen your spine onto the mat, pressing the tailbone down. Take up as many breaths as you need here, remembering to inhale and exhale through your nose. And then placing both feet firmly on the mat. Try to get them close to your hips, slowly lifting into a bridge. Offering up your strength and your power. Taking a few breaths and then relaxing back onto the mat. Take your time coming out of the pose. Lowering our legs down onto the ground. Bringing your left leg up and over for a twist. And extending your arms into a T. Your knee should be sort of like in the air, trying to reach towards the opposite side. Remembering to breathe here. And then coming back into our center. And twisting to the other side. Using your arms for balance. And then coming back into your center. Entering a place of gratitude. Thank yourself for the effort you have shown. Relax into Savasana. And we will take a few minutes of silence as you continue to melt into your mat. Remember to engage your crown chakra at the very top and center of the head. Imagine a purple circle, a halo of divinity rising from deep within you and floating up over that area of your head, affirming in your mind or out loud, I know. You know how to experience the divine meaning of your life. And when you are ready, let's meet back at the screen.